Haunting space and time, space and time, space and time. Haunting space and time.
The days went by like rail ties under a speeding freight train. It had been 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days since the strange man had appeared. One day, while I was at the cafe, without reason or warning, a gentle old man sat down next to me. He smiled and calmly said, "Annalyn, you'll never find what you're looking for. Ever. But when you've stopped looking, it will find you." A book with the title The Iron Bridge. Told him I'd never heard of it. He replied few had. But when the book did find its way to me, to read it carefully, for within the book there were mysteries, symbols, and clues. What riddle, I wanted to know. Why, the riddle to everything. The riddle of the two worlds, reality and the dream world. He said once I did all that was asked of me, I'd find a way to blend the worlds to one. I wanted to ask him why he was telling me this, but when I looked up, the man was gone. That was 3 years ago. Since then I've been waiting, spinning my wheels, and going crazy trying to make sense of my mysterious visitor.
Hey.
Do you have any sugar?
No, I don't, actually. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You could come in, you could have a glass of wine if you wanted.
No, thank you.
Okay.
No sugar for my coffee, and left with an insatiable hunger to find this book, this other world, to meet this man again, to find this crossing over without having to die. It was consuming me, but I could do nothing to quench the flames of desire. I had waited to a dull, shallow existence, when on an exceptionally forgetful day,
Who is it?
they came. They finally came, and my world immediately began to change.
Pennies. This is about pennies. And you found 333 of them in 3 months. And somehow you've come to the conclusion that this is going to lead you to some secret, a deep, dark secret that leads to another world. I never knew you to be the superstitious type, but I guess I can't be wrong on something. Annalyn, the only mystery here is why you've collected every penny you've found. I mean, that's a mystery. Say they were all tails up. That's a story. I mean, that's like a Guinness Book of World Records story in there somewhere.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I've been trying to say. These pennies aren't a coincidence.
Annalyn, there's no Matrix, no Never Never Land, no Wonderland. Life is not about discovering anything but yourself.
Yeah, I don't even really know what that means anymore. You don't believe that, do you?
Believe it? No, I don't believe it. I know it.
But Perry, all the greats, Plato, Whitman, Hume, Nietzsche, Jesus? Okay, well, Buddha, they all talk about, they all point to a better world. A world that's accessible to us right here, right now.
Annalyn, the only thing these men had in common, and mind you, they're just men, is that they were born, grew old, and died. I mean, none of these guys found a mystical world or a secret realm or a perfect place. But I mean, and this life is what you got, you know? Learn to live life, be happy. I mean, that's what these books have been trying to tell you. You know, be grateful you're alive, because one day you won't be.
So that's it. Just like that, live, work, smile, and die.
Have you got taxes? Just messing with you. So tell me about this dream you're having.
Well, there's not much to say, really, other than it's utterly bizarre and occurs almost every night.
You've had the same dream more than once?
Over a dozen times now.
And it's exactly the same every time.
Exactly, but I can't figure it out.
All right, well, let's hear it.
I had been reading and reading and reading, and despite what the old man had said, I'd been searching for signs of the book, The Iron Bridge, but with no luck. I had dozed off, and the dream has been consuming me ever since, asleep and awake.
Go to sleep, Annalyn. There's nothing more to read.
In the dream, I watch myself watching myself. Pennies. I'm crawling through the bowels of the world. I am Rabbit.
Don't cross the bridge wet.
Change for a penny, ma'am.
If I were you, I'd take a suitcase.
There's no Matrix. There's no Wonderland. You are the rabbit hole.
Buy the ticket, see the movie.
One for the Iron Bridge, please.
Movies, books, monks, gasoline, fever, enlightenment, burning. I sense that others have been here before. I feel the eerie presence of others that have been here before me and that will come after me. Still, ill, wet, heat. We are all trapped.
Very interesting. Are you sure you're not on something? Nothing. Pills, meds, weed, acid.
Like I said, it's not much, but I just find it really strange because I don't remember my dreams.
And I think you might be suffering from frozen monk syndrome.
Frozen monk syndrome?
You mentioned Buddha earlier. This is an old Buddhist tale. Now, it starts in a monastery with a young monk who is very impatient. So he'd ask the master every day how long it would take him to find enlightenment. He just pesters and pesters the master. Until the master just says, you know what, go to the top of the mountain and meditate. The young monk says, well, then I'll find enlightenment, right? The master nods. So the young man sets out, finds the tallest mountain he can find, and sits there and meditates.
And what happened?
Well, it was the dead of winter. So he survives 3 days, and he comes back down. He's running down the mountain. He goes to the monastery, finds the master right away, so excited. He says, I found it. I have found enlightenment. And the master smiles at him and says, well, tell me then, what have you found? And the young monk says, well, sitting there, meditating and suffering, the cold days, the freezing nights, I finally realized that the snow is perfect. And the mountains are great in their form and architecture. I found that life was complete and beautiful. And me, in my frozen state, sitting there, was in tune perfectly with the way things should be. And the master just looks at him and smiles. And the young monk gets upset. He says, what is wrong? And the master says to him, this is the important part. You didn't find enlightenment. You only found what you were looking for. Nothing more, nothing less. And then with that, the master just walks away and just leaves the young monk there. The young monk's pretty pissed. You know, he thought he had found enlightenment. And he thought he was looking for enlightenment. And he thought he had found it. I mean, don't you get it, Anna? You're only going to find what you're looking for.
No, Perry, I don't get it. There is something. I've seen it. I feel it. It's real and tangible, mystical and heavenly, and strange, all at the same time.
Well, this has been great fun. This is the most fun I've had in ages, but this is a bit too much for this old man.
Perry, wait.
I'm sorry, Anna, really. I gotta go. This world, work. Now, that's a reality I'd love to escape from. Why don't you send me a postcard? You get to this, this other world. See you later, Annalyn.
Perry.
So Perry had left me, leaving me doubting myself and with little hope of ever finding anything but death and taxes. I was beginning to think I was chasing the white rabbit, that there truly was no wonderland, no other world, no crossing over, just life and death. Barely breathing, I decided to pick out some light, very light reading, when with a stretch of the hand, there it was, the iron bridge.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Did you find everything okay?
I did. Thank you.
Will this be all then?
Yes.
$16.67 out of 20. And $3.33 is your change. Thanks for coming in. Hope you come back soon.
Thanks. I will.
I tried to conceal my excitement at the priceless discovery. My heart was racing. I bit my fingernails raw as I turned the pages over and over. I scoured each and every line with perfect precision, not missing a word. My chest thumped as I wondered what discoveries, mysteries, clues I would find. My paranoia increased. I had the book, the secret, and I felt that someone or something was following me, watching me. I was disappointed to find that the book was short. I read it twice in a single night. My heart sank as there were only brief clues to the other side. But then I remembered the strange man's words. Read it carefully. So I read it again. This time I found there were many clues given, but the answers were actually to be found in other books. So I went searching. Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil, Huxley, Plato, Buddha, Gandhi, Jim Morrison. I was breaking my way through to the other side, and I wasn't going to die. I was reading so much, I would nod off and wake up in strange places. My head hurt. My brain felt like mush. I couldn't remember my dreams, or if my days were dreams, or maybe my dreams were my days. So in a way, the two worlds were beginning to blur. I could feel I was getting closer to the answer, closer to it. But what exactly was it? And then it hit me. Pennies.
You were the rabbit hole.
parlez pas. Il vous regarde de tout autour de vous. Vous avez fait quelque chose, Annalyn, que vous n'auriez pas dû faire. Vous êtes venu là, il est interdit aux mortels d'aller. Les conséquences seront graves. Ils sont arrivés. Derrière.
Pennies. Or in the other world, spin in. And so I did. I was able to spin in and disappear. Well, sort of. All I can tell you is that it's out there. It's in you, and it's real. All of it. I will say this, though. If you really want it and are patient enough, watch for pennies to start showing up. Especially if they all turn up. Tails up.